everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we are going to do a spoiler-free review of The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter by Michael J. Sullivan. So The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter is actually the fourth book in a series called The Rhyuria Chronicles. But the reason why I am reviewing it is because Michael J. Sullivan has written the Rhyuria Chronicles to be read as standalone novels. If you've never read anything before in any of his Rhyuria books, you can easily jump into any one of the chronicles and begin your story right there. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to review it as a standalone and not as a part of the larger series of the Rhyuria Chronicles and how they fit in with the Rhyuria Revelations. There's a lot of Rhyuria in there. Of course, for a richer reading experience, you can do everything in publication order, but if you just want to pick up something that's fun, fast-paced, I definitely suggest any of the Rhyuria Chronicles. The book starts off with us meeting the Duchess of Rochelle, and she's going about her day. She's trying to pick out a gift for her husband. She starts walking through the marketplace and haggling with some of the vendors. She gets back into her carriage, and both her and her companion in the carriage, her companion is killed and she is kidnapped. So we already know as readers that there's some big kidnapping happening. So when we finally, in the second chapter, meet Royce and Hadrian, our two main characters, our Rhyuria duo, who are two thieves for hire. We meet them in a tavern, and a wealthy merchant has come to hire their services to find out who exactly kidnapped and killed his daughter, and he's going to pay them an outrageously large sum of money to be able to do this for him. He said if they can find the person who has kidnapped his daughter to kill them, and anyone that they kill along the way for information, he will add more money on top of it. So he's already willing to pile on a large sum of money, and then he's giving them extra incentive to kind of really get to the bottom of this deeper mystery. So our Rhyuria duo takes him up on his offer, and then off they go. So let's talk about the world building. The world of Elan is this world that Michael J. Sullivan has created, and there's multiple different kingdoms inside this fantastical fictional continent. And that is probably my only criticism with this novel is it does not require prior knowledge of the different cities that are within this world of Elan, but because he has written 8 books before this one, he casually drops names of different cities and different kingdoms. He casually drops the names of the religion. He casually drops just the various names that you'd find within the world of Elan. And it's not that he expects you to know them, because it's not really important to enjoy the story, but if you're the kind of person that's looking for something that's really going to take you into a deeper world-building experience, you might be a little bit put off by this because he's just casually mentioning them in the assumption that you perhaps already know what's going on. So that's my one probably my main criticism for someone who is probably picking this up for the first time. Once we get to the city of Rochelle, then the world building really starts to pick up its pace. So the city of Rochelle is a very segregated kind of city. We have the rich and the poor area, but we also have different populations of people and creatures. So we have the human population who live inside of the rich and the poor areas, but we do also get a lot of outside merchants from different countries. We have a dwarfish area, and then we also have the Mer who populate the city. The Mer are half elvish and half human, and they have no rights whatsoever. So the characters inside this story, we follow along with Royce and Hadrian, obviously our two main characters that we follow along through all of the Rhyuria books. In the simplest terms, I always say thieves for hire, but they're kind of like mercenaries for hire. They don't necessarily operate within the law. But they're never depicted as hired thugs. They're very meticulous and very smart about their work. Royce has an honor code, Hadrian has an honor code, and they will only take jobs if they fall within the certain honor codes that they have created for themselves. Hadrian is a very broad, big man, big character. He's described as carrying 3 swords at a time. He's this amazing fighter. He's much more of the optimist of the group. And then we have Royce, who is very slight of build, very quick-footed. He's the code cracker and the thief of the duo. He's a very surly character, but like I said, he has his own honor code, and if their jobs will fall within his honor code, then he will, of course, perform them. But then we do meet a couple couple of different other characters that were really enjoyable. So we meet the Duchess of Rochelle, and we do get some of the parts of the book that are told from her point of view, and she's a very, very smart, sassy woman. She's a little bit heavy set, and she gets a lot of remarks made toward her. They call her the whiskey wench because they don't like her. She's an outsider. She married into this dukedom. She's a very smart woman because she was raised as a merchant's daughter, and she essentially turned their whiskey business around and made it an extremely profitable business. She's not one to be tricked into buying a piece of cloth and paying more for it than it's actually worth. Like, she really knows her stuff, and she was a really enjoyable character to get to know. We also meet a group of characters who are a part of this underground, underbelly, mistreated and impoverished group in the city, and that's the Mer, the dwarves, and then these outside traders. The main Mer character that we meet is called Mercator. She is a female Mer. She's a couple hundred years old. She is trying to become a leader of the Mer people and sort of rally them together to fight for their rights, to be able to have profitable businesses, to be able to own homes. And she doesn't want to be seen as an underground leader, but a lot of people do end up seeing her that way. There is this sort of rebellion rising of these stricken down group of people that are trying to fight for their rights to be able to live in this city. So all in all, I think that The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter could be easily read as a standalone, just like Michael J. Sullivan had intended. Like I said, there are some pieces that are like name drops of places that our Royce and Hadrian duo have been before. It's okay if you don't get those references. If you do want to be able to read it for the full, richer experience, then reading it in publication order is very important because there's a lot of different Easter eggs for people who have followed along with the Rhaenyra books. Another nice bit for the Rhaenyra fans is that at this stage in Royce and Hadrian's partnership, they're still getting to know one another. They still don't know each other's boundaries yet, so you get a lot of griping, a lot of testing of each other's boundaries, and it's been really fun to come back into Royce and Hadrian's head, to come back into their world and get to know them from a different angle, and that's kind of the angle of them just still working out their partnership. So all in all, I gave The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really quick, easy fantasy read. Definitely not a very intimidating fantasy read, so if you are looking for something that's a little bit quick and lighthearted, but has a lot of good action and a really good message behind it, then I always suggest Michael J. Sullivan. Alright everyone, so thank you so much for tuning into this spoiler-free review of The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter. So I participated in a Kickstarter campaign for the launch of this book. So if you are interested in reading this book, you will have to purchase it directly from the author because it won't officially be published until June, I believe, and then you'll be able to pick it up off of Amazon or from your local bookstore. But for now, this is kind of this early release that he launched the book through a Kickstarter campaign to give fans a chance to be able to read the book before you can buy it on Amazon, and so you can purchase it directly from him, and of course I'll put that link down below. As always, please follow me on any of my social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's at WhatCastRead, the same as this channel. I always forget to say to subscribe at the end of my videos, but if you're just joining me and you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click subscribe and click on that little bell so you get the notifications that I have uploaded a video. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.